I was shocked to learn, though, in your life, one of the great romances was Stevie Nicks of Fleetwood Mac. And this was kept on the down low, even during your whacked out years.
Yeah.
How'd you do that?
But she says you were the love of her life and probably still are. What, is she one of those people you had to call and make amends to? Wow.
She's special.
She was in love. One of the greatest songwriters ever, right? Stevie Nicks.
Yeah.
No?
Well,
am I wrong?
I mean, songwriters, in the big picture, all of us from the 70s are memorable and notable, but I mean, the greatest songwriters are like guys from the 30s and 40s. And
do you really believe that? You don't believe Jimi Hendrix was a great songwriter, Paul Simon?
Oh, yeah, okay.
You don't consider yourself a great songwriter?
Well, I don't think it's fair to say one of the best ever to anybody.
But what a powerful couple. But Stevie Nicks and Joe Walsh.
Stevie's very high on the list.
Were you in love with her?
Did they write together?
I don't know. Did you guys ever write together?
She helped me do the Confessor album.
No kidding.
She rode shotgun with me on that one and gave me some direction, and she's really good at the craft of songwriting.
Which means what? Sitting down and really putting a pen to paper and actually trying to figure out the lick and all that?
Left to my own devices, I will have 85 pieces of paper with a couple words on each.
Right.
And people like her and my wife Marjorie now help me get 85 words on one piece of paper.
How do they help you do that? I mean, you're a songwriter. It's a creative process for you. How do they focus you to take all those 85 slips of paper and combine them into a song?
Well, my wife is a closer. That's what she does. When I say it's the part of me that was missing, I got a little attention deficit.
Right.
But in the 50s, that wasn't diagnosed. You were just difficult.
Right.
But I got it.
Yeah.
You know, I see that in one of my sons. I learned about it, and I had it screaming in the 50s.
It's one of those things that affects you where you can't keep your mind on one thing.
You can't complete tasks. I have a great idea, fantastic idea, and I get it started, and wait a minute, I have another idea. So there it sits.
You know, I'm reading a book about this. It's called Get Things Done.
Yeah.
Do you ever read this book?
No.
I've just started reading it. I just learned about it.
Yeah, so I have great ideas lying all over the place.
And what do you do? Do you speak into a little tape recorder? And how does the songwriting process go for Joe Walsh personally? Would you be fucking around with your guitar? You start to, pick at a few notes and go, that's cool? Or do you hear the song in your head first? You once told me years ago you always have a song in your head.
Yeah.
Yeah. But how do you get it out physically? Because don't you go, oh, my God, this is good. I don't want to lose this. What do you do? What's the first thing you do? So you don't forget it.
Well, you can carry around a little recorder.
Do you do that?
And put ideas down. When I remember to, yeah.
Because you need a giant inbox, so to speak. But by that I mean, you need a place that whenever you get an idea, you just put it in there so you don't have to sit and worry. Didn't that worry you when you had a great hook or something and you'd say, oh, shit, I can't forget it, I can't, or you didn't care?
It depends. When I was wasted, I would write it down, except in the morning, it didn't make any sense.
Okay, a song like Life's Been Good So Far. Life's Been Good So Far. You're standing around one day. Do you hear the words first or the music?
Usually the music.
The music?
Yeah.
You heard
it's real abstract, and I think it's the same for all of us. You hear an idea, and it's kind of a symmetry.
So did you hear? So when you say you heard an idea, symmetry, was it like?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, yeah.
That's what you heard.
Yeah.
And then you go, I don't know what the fuck to do with that.
Well, you go, okay, there's something.
Right. Now, what do you do with that? You go over to a tape recorder and you go.
I kind of have a place in my head
that it goes
with different drawers.
Really? And you retain this?
Yeah.
I wonder how.
I'm wondering, why don't you think this is something you've heard before? You know, like you're humming somebody else's tune.
I'm amazed that I would sit there and think how many songs he forgot that are in that drawer.
Well, think of how many songs never got written that people had. Yeah. Robin, you're right. Whatever you just said, I forgot.
Sometimes you think it's something you heard.
Yeah, right. Well, that's where you go, aha.
Right.
You mess around with old blues licks, and you mess around, and you realize, boy, this is fantastic. Oops. Except it's a Hendrix lick. And you think, oh, well, start again. But once in a while, you get a nibble.
Did you ever meet Hendrix?
Yeah.
Oh, you... Hey, I didn't finish the thought, though, with Stevie Nicks.
Yeah.
I mean, you two became this couple. And she says you are the love of her life.
All those songs were about Joe?
Yeah. She wrote one about me, yeah.
What was the big one about you?
Joe?
Joe just fell asleep.
Yeah.
He's thinking of the name.
I'm trying to I'm embarrassed. I don't remember.
Was it a Fleetwood Mac song, or was it from one of her solos?
One of her solos.
One of her solo albums?
Yeah. Yeah.
Stand there.
Has anyone ever wrote a song for you?
Hell no. I wish you
No,
would.
that's how the song goes. Stupid.
Shit. When are you going to write a song about me? Actually, I got a...
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I got an email from Leslie West. He claims he has an idea. He was thinking of me. He wants to write a song about me. I'm very honored.
That's flattering.
I feel like a hot chick.
Well, you better wait till you hear it first.
Yeah.
Give my best to Leslie.
I will. You know, he lost his leg.
Yeah.
Yeah, and but he's doing well.
Yeah.
He has a great spirit about him.
He's a great guy.
And a great guitar player.
Yes, he is.
Yes.
Now, there's a guy that could probably be on Rolling Stone's list.
Yes.
Where the hell's he?
Exactly. What is it, Gary? How dare you interrupt my... He's handing me a piece of paper.
I'll tell you what it is.
Oh, here. Oh.
That's a song that Stevie wrote for Joe. God, she must have loved you.
What was the song?
The song is called Has Anyone Ever Written Anything For You, as Joe said. And I thought he was talking to me. Listen to this lyric. You know I'd rather be alone than be without you, don't you know? She'd rather be alone than be without you. What the fuck did you do to this girl? You must
He's just lucky that way.
You must have banged her silly. Were you in love with her?
As a sister.
Really? God, she was. I mean, I imagine this was the 70s, right?
I mean, she's like a soulmate, you know?
You still talk to her?
Once in a while.
This was like in the 70s, right? I mean, was there a more beautiful, physically beautiful woman than Stevie Nicks and all that talent? I mean, you would think that's the whole package. I mean, that would be my fantasy.
Were you not into her?
No, I was, Robin. That didn't come out right. All I'm saying is that we were seeking refuge, kind of, in each other's presence.
Because you both were into drugs at that point?
Kind of, yeah, there was that part of it. But we were on the road. We had careers. We were both lonely.
Why did you never marry her? Did the thought cross your mind at one point?
No.
And you never thought that way even in terms of like a powerful couple? Like, oh my God, there's two incredibly powerful people in rock and roll.
Or maybe that would have been too much.
Well, the relationship came and ran its course, as rock and roll relationships do.
Does it get competitive? Like, do you sit there and she was in Fleetwood Mac at that point, I guess?
No, she wasn't.
She wasn't.
No.
She was a solo, or she was in Buckingham next.
Yeah.
And does it get competitive? Is that the problem? Like, you could never really marry another singer-songwriter because the two of you sit there and drive each other nuts with that stuff, career?
What made it possible was that we toured together.
Right. So when you tour together, it's
and we spent all that time together.
But you were not monogamous with her, so she probably got jealous, too, because knowing you back in those days, you were not going to be limited to one woman, true? You weren't going to be limited to one drink and not one woman. You were an addict.
We were both monogamous for that summer.
That's a pretty long time.
Yeah.
So you felt
whole
something
season.
for her. Well, yeah, in rock and roll, that's 10 years.
That's a long time.
That's a long time. When we stopped touring, we
Drifted apart.
I had to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to.
Look at you. What a life.
But do you think you could have been with somebody as powerful and talented as Stevie?
No, I don't think either of us could have committed to a lasting relationship in the state that we were in.
You surprised Steven Tyler's a judge on American Idol? Seriously. I mean, Steven Tyler's one of the great songwriter, great rock and roll stars.
I don't exactly know why he's